favorite string arrangement written by an incredible Brazilian composer, Jorge Del Barrio. And I think the strings always add the human component to any song. And certainly this one, I think he hit it out of the park. To give you a little context for those of you who haven't heard the song, it was inspired by a lunch I had with a dad years ago during the first Iraq War. He was a Vietnam veteran, and his son had just gotten out of West Point and was about to go into theater, into combat. And through this lunch, I kept feeling these two competing sentiments from this dad. Of course, very understandable sentiments. One was pride that he felt for his son carrying on the family tradition of fighting for our freedoms. And of course, the other was fear for any loved one going into a war zone. And as I started going out with the USO and performing for our troops, initially they would say something to me that really didn't make sense. I remember down in Gitmo, and they're kids, right, guardsmen, 18, 19, 20 years old. I said, how you doing, how you doing? They're like, oh, we're good, you know, it's kind of tough on our families, though. I said, well, what do you mean? It's like, you're the ones, you know, at risk, you're the ones getting shot at, and they said, you know, true, you know, but, you know, we're busy, we're focused, we don't think about that, and often our families kind of sit at home, you know, hoping that knock on the door never comes. And they would tell me about situations, and you guys with my generation remember, you know, we would hear on the news that we lost 16 soldiers in Fallujah, something like that. Well, it turns out many of the family members have a sense of where their loved one is stationed. Not exactly where, but they have a sense. So when these reports come out, there's this window of time that goes by where they don't know. Did they lose their mom, their dad, their husband, their wife, their son, their daughter? Tragically, this happened a few years ago at the Abbey Gate in Afghanistan when the terrorists attacked. Most of those guardsmen down there were from Camp Pendleton in San Diego, so hundreds of families had this kind of window of unknowing, and tragically 13 got the worst possible news. So I wanted to write a song that kind of recognized that sacrifice, because that's exactly what it is. And in this song, Two Lights, a father hears of a similar scenario, that a member of his son's unit has been killed. He does not know if it's his son or not. So he goes for a drive, and he says, if you find out he's okay, leave me 2 lights on when I get home.
What is courage? Is it brave? What are lions? I've only seen them in parade. How is love supposed to read in a footnote of history? What's a tap on the shoulder that you're afraid to look over? The soldier's down in a firefight. No one can look me in the eye. This is what it means to be alone. So tear out my heart, feed into life. For this one wish I beg you this tonight. Show me no mercy, spare me my pride. I'm going for a drive. If you find out he's coming home when I come down the corner, I know that it's alright. Lead me to lights. Now he was young, just 23. turn my head as I lift my eyes burn. Tear out my heart, feed it tonight. For this one wish I beg you this tonight. Show me no mercy.